Who painted the Mona Lisa? Which scientist developed the theory of relativity? Who wrote Romeo and Juliet? Which ancient Greek philosopher taught Alexander the Great? Who improved and commercialized the first practical electric light bulb? Who painted the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel? Which German composer wrote for Elise? Who discovered penicillin? Which revolutionary leader said, "Give me liberty or give me death"? Who wrote Pride and Prejudice? Who was the first person to walk on the moon? Who invented the telephone? Which artist cut off part of his own ear? Who wrote War and Peace? Which civil rights leader gave the "I Have a Dream" speech? Who developed the first successful polio vaccine? Which Macedonian king is famous for remaining undefeated in battle? Who wrote the Communist Manifesto with Friedrich Engels? Who built the first practical steam engine? Which physicist is known for the uncertainty principle? Who was the first president of the United States? Which writer created the character Sherlock Holmes? Which scientist formulated the law of universal gravitation? Which famous nurse became known as the Lady with the Lamp? Which Austrian neurologist founded psychoanalysis? Who wrote Moby Dick? Who was known as the Maid of Orleans? Who invented the World Wide Web? Which philosopher said, "I think, therefore I am"? Who wrote the Odyssey? Which German philosopher wrote Thus Spoke Zarathustra? Which English naturalist developed the theory of evolution? Who was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic? Who painted Guernica, a protest against war? Which British Prime Minister led the UK during World War II? Who wrote the Divine Comedy? Which physicist developed the theory of electromagnetism? Who was the first emperor of China? Who discovered the structure of DNA with James Watson? Which Russian writer wrote Crime and Punishment? Who was known as the Iron Chancellor of Germany? Which artist is famous for painting melting clocks? Who wrote the theory of natural selection alongside Charles Darwin? Which ancient Greek physician is called the father of medicine? Who was the first president of South Africa after apartheid? Which French philosopher is known for the social contract? Who invented the printing press? Which poet wrote The Raven? Who was the first person to propose the existence of atoms? Which English king had 6 wives?